The cats have done something. You guys just go.
Okay,
I'll take care of
thank you. Right. Last session, I think you'll remember that we all went to the market. We experienced some heckling from the fountain tops as Harold Hesterbrand, who has not yet been driven to madness somehow, called out in fear that something was happening in the north. We are separated, with Bluey going to interrogate Clara with Mayan, and the rest of us being spirited away by none other than Anna Ashun. She thanks the party for looking after her son, letting them know that specifically Ulster, letting them know that the only reason that she was spared from the plague that took the city of Eldrelith is because she and him travelled out to Ironstone in preparation for Ulster's arrival. Moving away from that scene, we go down into a facade of the Thieves' Guild. Was it okay? Yes. A facade of the Thieves' Guild where Bluey has cornered Clara along with Mayan, and together they try and interrogate her non-violently. Clara, after some reluctance in return for sanctuary, which seems to be sanctuary in Melas, offers up a good deal of important information. The names of the three bigwigs who were in charge of the rebellion, it seems. He ate a spider yesterday. It was very gross. It was massive. Anyway, it was like...
Obviously, he gained the powers, because with the least...
Spider-Man, yeah, he is. It was an Australia-sized spider. I'll have you know. It was like him eating a small animal. Anyway, which it was, but you know what I mean. And after learning these names, which were, I believe, Birch, Blackfeather, Zenith, Bloodborne, and Lord
Paladin Azkarak.
There is one other detail. And she says something along the lines of, "You'll know it when you see it." Who knows what that means? You guys then reconvene and all decide to head towards the Gauntlet, as it appears it is time for Shu. But before you can do that, to cross through over to the Gauntlet area, you must pass through a part of the Green Sea, putting you on the western side of the country rather than the eastern side. In order to prepare, you get some horses, you get a cart, you get provisions, and you set off on your way. During this time, Joral decides to masquerade as George Shamrock, a personality which is more forthcoming than his usual self, and through that you are able to learn a little bit about his past. How many people he's killed, his first love, and how he came to meet Quirrell. You learn about Paynite, how it eats and it amplifies magic. And with that revelation comes the agreement that Paynite will be passed through the group, starting with Bluey, who has the least amount of actual casting ability. And so, yeah, Babble. It's Babble. Big Nose Babble.
He's very unhappy to be locked out of the bedroom this morning.
Yeah, he was scratching at the door. God, his nose looks so fat. Okay.
Babble.
Indeed. So, I'm going to suggest that you spend the rest of your day travelling through the semi-rural sort of like hills that surround Eldrelith. Heading towards the west, they begin to flatten out slightly as you get into the more plain-esque side of the country. And when you do eventually stop seeing the tops of the city towers, the plumes of smoke from buildings, the lights of the city, and they are swallowed more by hills and nature, and the darkness begins to set in, you all decide to make camp together. something you would have noticed is ever since talking to you, despite still wearing George Shamrock's face for the moment, Gerald seems to have kind of retracted back into his shell. But otherwise, all seems calm, all seems well, and you have the opportunity to long rest should you wish to. Is there anything else you guys would like to do today before you long rest?
Friday watches.
Well, I think Sparks would be like a bit hyper aware of like the pain night around her neck.
Yeah.
Is there like maybe on her watch or something? Maybe like trying to get to like examine it without like setting it off. That might be what she might try and do.
Okay.
Nice.
So you kind of have a look at it. Make me an Arcana check, please.
That's so disappointing. That's a 2.
With a 2,
Could be worse.
it really could have been.
I won.
Thanks, guys.
With a 2, you bring it close and you look drawn in somewhat by the facets, and you just very just give it a little lick.
Yes.
Now, when your tongue runs, it feels like you're gathering like electricity almost, and I just need you to make a Constitution check.
Oh my God, don't let Penny Night, guys.
A check.
Check. Yeah.
Okay. A check.
Okay.
A blank check, or hopefully not.
Oh.
That's an 11.
An 11. You feel a little nauseous, but you are otherwise undisturbed.
Do we all just see Sparks doing this?
Probably, yeah. I think that I have a feeling that someone has sort of brought a little cauldron and is starting to heat up some like leftovers from the other day, and you guys are sort of all gathered close enough that you would 100% see when Bluey licked the rock.
Also, what
I think
the necklace and is like,
she is so absorbed in this thing, trying to like.
you know, that's been around my neck for like several years without break.
She moves the chain around and is like, oh yeah, yes.
I think Astra for a second looks like she might stop Bluey, and then pulls out a notebook and starts like pen at the ready, watching. I rolled a wisdom check.
Says, I like that.
I rolled a wisdom check and it was pretty low. So Astra, against better judgment, decides to let's let this happen and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
See, let baby put the fork in the socket. They'll learn.
Oh my gosh. As you kind of lie there, all of you, some of you eating, some of you setting up your bedrolls, just resting. You found a little nook near the trees, just off the path, obscured enough that you feel safe to sleep, but not so obscured that you would worry no one would hear you scream. You can see through the breaks in the trees the sky, and you hear this strange rumbling noise. It's almost like wings, but very much on a larger scale. And overhead you see 4 eagles, like giant eagles.
Oh, it's Frodo.
4 giant eagles kind of like soar across the sky. the first three go by very fast. The last one seems to be more of a scout, kind of like watching the crowds, the ground, and it gives you the opportunity to catch a look on what else is on these eagles. Can I have you guys make me a perception check, please?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What the hell? Sorry. Piece of perception.
17.
Okay.
Just a 10, I think. Astra's still enraptured by watching Bluey with this paint eye.
Sure. 4, 10, 17. Also, you are very much in tuned with animals, so this makes a lot of sense to you. You look and you see that on the back, you can see people on these eagles. The eagles are reined. They have provisions sort of stuck to their sides. They're large enough for a medium humanoid
Why don't we travel by eagle?
to sit upon them. And the people atop seem to be wearing armor corresponding to the colors of the country. So it's like the green and the coppery kind of bronze coloring. Loran says, I don't think we could. I have a carpet. We're still technically flying.
Also looks at the cart. Looks back at Loran.
Indeed. Now, just give me one moment. Because also you notice something else.
Oh, I thought for a second some of the music coming in, I thought it was a cat going.
Oh, it could be. You never know. Ulster, can you roll me a D100, please?
I can. 37.
37. Let me just see. Okay, yeah. You see on the back here, that chart was really boring, so I'm going to use a more interesting one. Okay, right. That would be a little bit hard to see. I'm going to just use one of the closer ones because you wouldn't be able to necessarily tell what that one was. But you see on the back of the eagle, the last one, you see a Githyanki.
Okay.
They are you know these people to be a Lae'zel, long, kind of like limbed, very slender, greenish yellow skin, with a very high nose bridge, that is a little bit more evocative of the goblin kind of nose, where it's quite short, than a humanoid nose, which comes in a lot of different sizes. The eyes are quite wide, but this one is wearing goggles, so you can't quite see the set of their face, the expression or anything. You can only see that their hair is kind of pulled back very tightly and they're wearing this armor. You don't know if all of them are like this, but there is something else that you notice with the 17, which is that these eagles are not the color you'd usually expect eagles to be. They seem to be more like kind of gray than a brown. And that's it.
I relay this information to everyone.
Cool.
He starts rattling off nonsense about everything he sees.
For sure. Yeah. Nonsense non-stop.
Nonsense non-stop. He comments on the colour palette, the arrangement of the feathers.
Yes, well.
Oh yes, actually, it's more of a taupe.
The taupe colour.
I didn't even see them.
Hey, do you want me to draw you a picture?
Yes, please. That would be delightful.
If you want.
He draws you both a picture of an eagle and hands it and signs it at the bottom.
That's actually really funny.
Astra tucks it away in her notebook, just
Bluey, yours has a smiley face on it.
Like on the eagle's face or separate? I love that. Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
As you guys lay down to rest, you have the option to set up camp if you wish to.
Does setting up camp start a fire, maybe make it smoke visible or something like that? Is it
Pulling out the awnings on your tents and such. Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
Anything you wish.
I think
Up to you.
On a side note, can I roll a history check since Ulster mentioned these Githyanki?
You may, yeah.
Or a nature check just to see if I know anything about them.
Okay.
Which one would you prefer, history or nature?
So I think in nature. Because that feels more inclined to...
And nature is better for me. That's 18 plus 5, 23?
23. Okay. Hang on a moment. Okay. So you got a 23. You don't actually know or have never come across any extensive information on these people. And I think the thought of them, the kind of like knowledge of their existence, begins to sort of make your brain ache a little bit. And there's a sort of like pulsing on the left side of your head. And then it relaxes and you remember that they are an extraplanar being who are similar to the Drow in that they have faced a lot of hardship in areas of their society, and some of them emigrated to the material plane. But the more you try and think of it, the more information you try and glean from that small bit like seed of knowledge you have, your head starts hurting a little more.
Would we notice Astra like wincing or?
Astra, can you make me a constitution check?
Sure. I think that it more presents itself as Astra seems like a little bit more brow furrowed, just like very focused, like thinking real hard on something, but not necessarily showing like pain.
Yeah.
Everything okay, Astra?
Yeah, just mulling things over, letting thoughts marinate. That's a 7 on the Constitution check.
Oh.
Knowledge, but at what cost?
Astra, I'm going to make one small character decision for you because it'll, in regards to this Constitution check, I hope you don't mind. I think, as part of this sort of setting up camp ritual, once everything was done, as you're thinking on this encounter you just saw, probably sitting by the fire that you've set up, feels very warm. You had maybe had a mind to sort of take out your knitting and try and relax or journal your experiences of the day. But I think even as you're sort of talking to your friends now, you just are slightly nodding off, and that aching in your head isn't helping. And with the failure of this Constitution check, you just sort of like, after a minute or so, just very naturally kind of just close your eyes for a moment and take a short nap. Just a little nap. In which time
I will lower Astra onto a bedroll. Like, there.
Astra, the bed you're lying on doesn't feel like Earth anymore. there's a brief moment where you feel instead a soft, almost plush bedspread beneath you, and through bleary eyes you just kind of open and you can see you're back in that room from your dream the night a few nights ago. The one with the castellated ceilings where you saw Cass come into, where you were watching the children from, where Farinia was sleeping beside you, where she still is.
I think Astra just looks over at Fernia. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Fernia sneezes in her sleep. And she gives her a little kiss on the cheek, or like the temple, and just carefully extracts herself from bed. Once out of bed, Astra has a plan.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you met Farinia, how old was she? Considering dwarves live to around 350.
I think that they were both like 10 years younger. So if this is like where we were at like season 2, it'd probably be like 20 years older. But not like...
Okay, so physically around, but in actual years, can I just know? Like the dwarven lifespan years.
Probably like 60.
Don't worry about physical.
Like
60. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Like 50, 60, like nothing.
Sure. So just turned into an adult for dwarven standards.
Yeah.
Loran just crying in the corner, still a child at 70, like, no, please! I want to be a fully grown adult. He was a teenager, I'll have you know. But not like a child. But it's still quite harrowing.
Yeah, like Astra would have been like a similar age.
Yeah, understood. Okay, so you look over and she is just sleeping restfully. What do you see? What do you do, sorry?
Astra just kind of like gives her a little kiss and it very carefully extracts out of like herself out of bed, and then they go down like they search out that like that study again where like Astra's like, okay, I'm gonna continue this dream from last time. I'm gonna try and go back and do what I was in the middle of doing before. Which was going back to that like temple area in like the study. Not temple, okay. What's the word I'm looking for? Altar.
Yep. Okay, so when you kind of go into the study, you notice a few things. First thing you notice is that there are 2 desks in here now, not one. And it is not empty. There is a young child, maybe about 10 or 11, a little bit older than the children you saw in your last dream, with light sort of lavender skin and kind of a curly grey brown hair, greyish red hair. And when you look at them, you have this like sort of heaving feeling in your chest, and you realize this is your child with Farinia. Would you like to reintroduce them to us?
If I may alter the description in that case, if this is Castell.
Yeah.
Because their skin...
I was kind of going off of the art that we did, but it's okay if it's different. Yeah.
Their skin would be more of like a kind of like a plum tone, like a deep plum tone. Like if you combined like Astra's like indigo with like Farinia's like kind of caramel brown.
Gotcha. Most makes sense. Right, so you... Oh yeah, sorry.
Like in these like kind of like black sclera with like fiery ember colored golden eyes.
For sure. Castell looks up and kind of kicks their feet, and you can see that they have like a their own like kind of smaller version of your desk here in this room with the altar. And when you look over at what they're writing and what they're drawing, you notice the date seems to be at least 15 years later than when you were last in this room. The phase of the moon is completely different in the recordings. When you last came here, I would say, because they were all playing outside and it was sunny, that maybe it was like Leonin, which is one of the summer months. But now it's colder.
Sorry, 15 years from the last time Astra was in this place.
Yep.
Okay.
It's colder. You probably think that this is sort of Cicero leading into winter from autumn. If you guys want the calendar again, I can send it to you. It's got emojis to let you know what kind of months are what.
I have it pinned in my own stuff.
Sure. There's 3. There's one for a prayer, one for Kalkan, and one for the Messiah, in case y'all need it.
I will always take it again.
Indeed. So you guys have a moment where you kind of make eye contact, and then Castell stands up and says, "You're awake then? Finally."
Of course, sorry to keep you waiting. What were we working on last?
Well, I've memorized like pretty much the whole of your first volume of journals from your adventures in Aprea, and I've also maybe taken some notes from some external source texts about other members of your parties. Definitely age appropriate, though you don't have to worry.
Is that Daniel?
Slides the slightly age inappropriate smut away. And I'm now ready for the next stage in my clerical training. I know everything there is to know about you.
Well then, I guess it's time for a quiz.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh.
No need to be anxious, I'm sure you know everything.
I do, yes.
Hang on just a second, I am personally blanking.
This is really smart, actually. That's so smart. Now I have no choice. Well, who knows, he might be lying.
Just give you a little quiz.
Mm.
So, well, as a...
I would have said making flowers or healing people.
As a cleric, who do we serve?
Of course, the triple goddess, the triad. Duh.
And what is their calling?
Their calling? Okay, so it comes in different forms. From my knowledge, would you have shared about the Ashbearer and that kind of story with Castell, or would you have kept that for when they were slightly older, if they were a tween at the moment?
I think that Astra would have, given pretty much, like, anything that is, like, relevant, like, their own, like, sexual escapades, I would say, have been
probably not
written down whatsoever.
I'm joking. Of course, I was joking.
I know, but I just wanted to clarify that I don't think Astra would have written any of that down, except for there may be like certain notes that like hint at like, when
they
how
winked,
would you know that?
They were more likely winking at all of your various crimes rather than anything else.
Crimes.
Cool. Okay.
Also, as the only one who's had his sexual escapades broadcast in a multi-million best-selling novel that Danielle has adapted and put out into the world.
If it helps, Loran would have had magazines back in the day. He can share his vintage reviews.
Oh,
like, look
great,
at this back
great.
then.
I bet Loran has like a centerfold.
No, I'm a tabloids bestseller. Ew. The upper classes truly have it. So you guys there, and Castell thinks for a moment, and they say, "Well, I remember your story about the ash on your hand, and about your father. So I suppose their calling would come from the stars, from a sign similar to that. And then there was also, of course, the different creatures associated. So like wolves, closely associated with the moon. Is there anything I'm missing?"
Well, there's the desire to seek knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of obvious, Mom. The desire to seek knowledge. I was thinking that one. They write it down.
Obvious.
Obvious. Is the quiz over?
I think Castell would just notice that Astra is just kind of like studying their features. Taking everything in.
And they're all like, "Mom, I'm not a kid anymore."
I'm not a kid anymore. You can't stare at me.
Harassment.
You've
Me
grown
to my
so
friend.
much just in the blink of an eye, it seems. Sorry, I'm being sappy. It's...
Yeah.
You surely have better things to do than just... I'm sure you know everything. But, just for me to brush up on old times, would you mind directing me to my old journals that you've been studying so diligently?
Yeah. He goes over to the desk, and there's a key in it, and he just turns it once to the left and pulls up the lid. And inside, very neatly organized, I will say.
Astra the detective. On the case.
Very neatly organized, you see a whole host of journals and research and such, which is sort of all laid out and labeled quite nicely. So whatever you would have been researching, if you need to look for it, you can find it.
I think Astra does kind of like briefly like turns, like kind of flips through the pages a little bit affectionately and then stops and closes it. Like, just to give you a look inside of like Astra's thoughts of like, interesting that like it's almost this desire not to like spoil this journey for themselves. Like, knowledge is not something to be stolen, it's something to be earned, something to be gained.
For sure.
Not wanting to like have that sneak peek into the future. And it's like, why don't we go wake up mom, your other mom, and have just, we can surprise her with breakfast.
You say that, and then as you close the lid to the desk, the slamming of the wood wakes you up. And you are lying again on the floor of that. Gotcha. Of the forest.
You've been tucked up. Ulster is sitting right next to you, like, there.
Oh, how long was I out?
5 minutes.
It's not very long. I mean, it was a very short nap. You can sleep longer if you want.
No, it's probably better not to.
You okay?
I saw that dream again.
What dream?
It was longer this time.
What are you talking about, Astra?
Oh, the dream where I was in the future.
Spooky. What was in the future? He kind of like shuffles closer to you on the bedroll and bumps your shoulders together.
A child. My partner and I had a child. It's strange. Never really thought about that before.
Guess that's the natural progression for some relationships.
I never really thought I'd be, in any one place long enough to have that, so it's just a nice thing to look at. But shouldn't distract from the now,
But the now's pretty good. The now is the now and all that.
At least something to look forward to, I guess, if it is to be believed.
I mean, I told you you're going to be fine. He kind of elbows you again. You're going to be fine. You can dream all you want. I'm hungry. Would you like me to make some dinner for you? He kind of gets up.
Sure. Why don't we cook together?
Sounds good. And he kind of turns his back to you and goes over to the fire that we're probably kindling.
I think that during this time, Loran and Bluey, you guys could have been making a strange feast. Bluey, are you a good cook?
I have proficiency in chef's utensils.
Oh, wow! Okay, yeah. Then Loran can.
Never mind. I don't. It was Bluey Sparks of the main campaign that had proficiency.
Okay, wait. Wait, no.
I think this Sparks has had a bit of a cushy life
upbringing.
at the temple.
Sure. Sparks,
Yeah.
how about this? You pick up a knife and you are transported to another world in which you are a professional cook. And it's like, you're pretty good at chopping veggies. Putting flavors in there, it's hard to say. But Loran can help in that regard. And you guys end up with what looks like to be like a kind of orangey, like yellow colored, almost curry vegetables. And Gerald comes out of the woods holding a rabbit and is like, it's still alive.
What?
Dinner?
Ulster takes the rabbit away from Gerald and puts it down. No, we're being vegetarian on this trip. Shoes it away.
I caught this for you.
Thank you. But we're not going to eat the forest friends on this trip.
Why not?
Because we're in their forest and it just seems like it'd be a bit rude, you know?
Fine.
Thank you for the offering.
We'll have meat later.
Yes, later. They start picking at their teeth and you see a little further. I definitely didn't eat anything earlier.
Who wants a vegetable curry?
Sounds great.
You guys start dishing out your curry. If you are speaking to Gerald, I think you notice he is keeping his distance from you all. Sort of sitting away, sort of maybe even with his back sort of like slightly to the fire rather than sitting near in the circle with you all. And when you give him their curry, he kind of like gingerly puts it in his mouth and is like, salty.
I'm not sure if we can make it less salty.
You have... No, it's fine.
Have what?
Nothing.
We have nothing.
No. Do you have any sugar?
Maybe.
Loran procures a small roll of spices and passes it over. There could be something in there.
Nutmeg
Yeah.
would make it taste a bit more. We tinker with the curry until it's to everyone's taste.
Droll says, very reluctantly, "Thank you."
You're very welcome.
Right, well, who wants to be on watch with Gerald tonight?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, Bluey looks at the painite around her neck and is like, yeah, maybe not. Okay, I'm glad.
Mm.
Slater. Fuck, Astra. She doesn't know. I also said Bluey, and so this is
Fair enough. There's a lot of brain fog going on in this campaign. Right, so you guys will settle in to rest after having your soup. And Droll and Sleer, you guys can take the first, Droll and Astra, you guys can take the first watch. So can you guys roll for me? Just a moment. I need you to roll a D100, please.
Oh. Okay.
What is that?
That is a 9.
A 9. It's low. Okay.
So low.
That's a divine intervention. If not for
you
us,
notice that the trees are completely calm. The hill and the road is quiet, apart from the occasional traveller who doesn't bother you. The only thing of note here is a raven, which is kind of poking its nose at the edge of your cabin. And that is it. No, nothing to worry about, nothing to wake up the others over. So you now have 4 hours to kill.
With Gerald.
I think Astra would probably get out. Like, they're knitting and just kind of casually just be keeping their hands busy.
Did you say you had a dream of the future?
I think so.
It's fucking strange. Very weird.
I mean, you had a dream of your future, so how strange is it really?
He doesn't say anything. It's not normal.
No. But I guess neither are any of us.
I don't trust you.
That's fine. I can't say I really trust you either, but I'm coming to care about you, and I'm just going to accept that.
Then stop. Don't do that.
Why, are you planning to betray me?
Probably. I'll do what I need to do in the moment.
Good.
I'll expect you to do the same.
Indeed. I'll protect you until... probably against my own better judgment.
I hope you don't expect the same treatment from me. I will not protect you. Or any of them. You are a convenience.
I
For
know.
now.
That's kind of how Sanctuary works. We protect you.
He turns his head away, looks out at the trees. If there's nothing else, you're able to pass the rest of your watch in peace, should you wish to.
I think that Gerald would find that Astra is perfectly capable of comfortable silence. Whether or not Gerald is comfortable in it is up to him.
They look very He looks very squirmy.
Like a little worm.
A little worm. So,
If he seems
After
squirmy, they might actually speak up and just be like, is there something bothering you?
no!
How dare you?
Stop asking me questions.
Okay.
Especially ones with pointless answers. God.
I mean, is it pointless to you?
Why does it matter?
If it matters to you, I'm going to say it matters to me.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, she laughs at
You're
that.
supposed to be You're supposed... Did you ever live in the Underdark?
I don't think
Well,
so.
of course you didn't. You wouldn't have survived a day with this attitude. But I suppose you're a woman. Or part of one.
Gerald's such a dick.
I'm something.
Or something.
Part of woman sounds like they're like
Frankenstein.
torn away.
What is gender but a meaningless construct?
What is gender?
I have part of this gender and part of that gender. And
I'm a
it's
starry
I've got like
feminine
this
void.
much of Astarion, I've got like this much of Aurora, I've got like this much of Sam Reed.
The gender of the day is a starry void.
The starry void.
Yeah.
He just kind of squares
Stairs.
up a bit.
What is it like down there?
It's cold. It's dark.
Yes, tell me something that books haven't.
Mhm.
On the full moon, the last or fullest day of the cycle, you have to understand, they just know when it is. They can sense it in the way the water moves. They don't need to see the sky. There is a pantheon. We gather there. And there is blood sport. How about that? People volunteer. People are captured. Observers from the crowd are pulled in by hooks from under their collarbones. You step foot in the arena. You are part of the sport. Not many people have seen that.
Have you ever participated?
I was a shadow guard.
And like he would notice that like Astra's hands like have gone completely still. That like they are 100% focused on him. Like trying to just take in all of this information.
There's a sort of twitch, like a kind of sick-looking satisfaction on his face, and he just says, "When I was a bit younger, there was someone who was very good at it. You know their name."
He said, you even know their name?
Yeah, basically.
Sinestra.
Oh wow!
Sorry.
Oh, that was spooky.
That was scary.
That was scary. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Sinestre.
So you said Sinestra. He doesn't say anything else. He just nods.
Thank you for entertaining my curiosity.
So you guys switch out your rest. I'm assuming that next up we'll have either Ulster and Bluey or Ulster and the Ram.
Who else is that? Is that all of us who are here?
It's only you guys and Joral at the moment.
I am happy to do 2 watches.
Yeah, so do you want to go with Bluey first and then the Ram will sleep in?
Yeah, me too.
So
Also,
Ulster.
Woody looks like bright and awake by the time
Yeah.
Astra wakes up. He's like, hello.
Hi. Okay. Watching time.
Indeed.
He freezes his
Oh.
finger and like pokes you.
Yes.
Sparks.
He freezes what, sorry?
He freezes his finger and pokes you all around your face to kind of like wake up from that.
Sparks. I need you to do something for me.
Thank you. Yes.
What?
First of all, Lily, I need you to roll me a D100.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Anna, I need you to do a silly dance.
Dance now.
47.
47. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, so it's a. I'm pretty sure it's. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Me or
No, Bluey.
Con saving throw. Okay. So that's an 8.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
An 8. When you wake up,
she's feeling fine, right? That's
when you wake up, your moves kind of feel sluggish, just a little bit heavier than usual. And you can choose whether to disclose this to the rest of the party or not. This is entirely up to you, at least for now. But you have acquired 1 level of exhaustion.
It's the okay.
Now,
uh-huh.
this means that you have disadvantage on a few checks and abilities. But I will tell you more about it, should you need.
Do you tell Ulster that you're not feeling so good?
You can do what you prefer.
I think you. Well, okay. I think Sparks would be like yawning a lot and maybe trying. It looks like she's trying to stay awake a bit.
Do you want to go back to sleep?
Oh, look, it's. I don't know. I just feel a bit like sore.
Can I make an Arcana check on Spark?
You can.
80 plus. Dirty 20.
You can tell that Bluey is No. You can tell that the Painite is unchanged compared to how it was before, and there are no spells currently affecting Bluey. You would need to sort of look more towards a medical direction to make the correlation, I think.
Can I make the assumption that because we said wear this until you feel sick, that Sparks is already feeling sick?
I think it depends on Sparks and the roleplay. So I'll have you guys play out the scene.
Well, I've already asked if Sparks feels.
Well, I'm not going to, but I want you to sort of talk about it and discuss rather than just me tell you what to do.
Okay, well then also has asked Sparks if Sparks wants to go back to sleep, because I think you can tell that Sparks is tired.
Oh, nah, no, that like it can't just be one person.
I'm more than people. Yeah, squares itself up.
I want Ulster to make a Bluey, you're going to make a Constitution check, and Ulster, you're going to make a Persuasion check. And
thought so.
PC is going to be Bluey's Constitution roll.
It's not going to be good.
Oh, it's not going to be good?
6.
Okay, it's not a definite.
Oh.
Don't feel it.
Well, I rolled 6, but that's a 9.
9, okay. So,
yes.
Usually also is quite persuasive.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, then I'll put it to you guys this way. Ulster, you get the impression that considering the exhaustion effect has already taken effect after sleep, it's not going to go away by just them taking it off. They might need medical attention, in which case them holding on to it until Astra wakes up isn't going to make a difference whether they hold on to it or you wear it. So it's up to you guys to decide what you want to do. It's not going to change anything until you guys can get a cleric involved.
Yeah.
Unless, because you have healing.
Yeah, I could heal.
Or paladins as well have some restorative capabilities. But remember, if you're going to do that, then there's something you should do before you cast that spell. Which is...
Take it off.
Yeah. Take it off. If you're going to cast it. Otherwise, it's going to just start the process again.
Okay, also we'll hold out his hand for the Painite. Okay, you should probably give it to me.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Yep.
I was really expecting you to have it for longer because your con was so good.
He takes it off you.
Okay.
I don't even feel like that's bad, but just I don't.
Well, what can you do for yourself versus what can maybe Astra do for you when they wake up?
I'm not sure Sparks can help with exhaustion on herself. All my spell slots are used up anyway, so I think it'd be up to Lay on Hands. And Lay on Hands says you can either cure a disease or neutralize a poison, and neither of those really apply.
Sure. Okay. Well, then you can sit tight and roll at disadvantage whilst I ask you guys to roll me a perception check, please.
Okay. So
14.
perception from both.
Yes, please, both of you.
They're very similar.
Okay. 14 and?
Bad. That's an 8.
So many D&D books on my thing right now. So, as you guys are looking out, Ulster, you get the sudden urge to snuff out the fire as you hear the very low embers of the fire, as you hear movement from the road.
He waves his hand and the flames extinguish.
Okay. Oh, Ulster, when you wave your hand and the flames extinguish, it's like breathing. And the anxiety that you usually get in your heart, your chest, when you engage with any sort of like fire-based magic is still there. And you almost wince when you kind of feel your hand kind of pass over the heat, but it dulls, and you can feel it's almost sinking into your skin.
Okay.
Like you're holding on to that energy, like you've pulled it from the flames and into yourself.
Okay.
And the embers are cold when you touch them.
He will put the paint on properly and just put a finger to his lips to sparks.
You put the paint on, and that warmth, that comfort in your hand starts to kind of cause a tremor that you can't really stop. It's just constant shaking exactly where your hand passed over the heat.
Can I hold my hand in an opposite direction? To be like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
You just hide it behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. You may not get exhaustion, but it's not going to be an easy ride. So, as you guys are watching the road, you notice a larger figure leading 6 smaller figures, all of whom are roughly around 3 to 4 foot tall. They look quite harrowed. They've come from the hills, and they are...
Is it Snow White and Seven Dwarfs?
No, my God. They do look rather harrowed. They are coming down from the hillside, and you notice they're carrying something. It's something that looks like a bag. It's quite light, but it's very heavy, and the handle seems to be very thin, like almost like very scraggly, like it's being held, like it's almost like hair-like.
Okay.
And it kind of hits against one of the trees, like a boulder that they pass, and for a brief moment it's turned, and you realize it is not a bag, it is a head that they are holding.
Can I perception on these people?
You can, yeah.
6, 21.
You say 21 with your perception check. You actually also even hear them speaking as you get to grips with the fact that this is a band of bandits, mostly small folk, mostly goblins. You can't really make out anything beyond that.
I tentatively direct my hand towards them just in case.
Okay.
Can't hurt.
I have a small question.
Yes.
They see that they're carrying a head. Does it appear to be attached to a body, or is it just the head?
It appears to be just the head.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to
Of
make
what?
sure that my notes were correct, because I wrote carrying a head minus body ?
Sure. Investigation checks, please, if you want to know more about this.
Okay.
Head.
17 plus 16.
This music is too happy for this situation. Prepare for battle. Pardon me? $16. This appears to be the head of just a humanoid, perhaps a human. They appear to be an older man with a kind of like braided beard. They are now carrying it by. It's a little bit uncomfortable to look at, so it's hard to make out too many more features than that. You do not know this person, but they are carrying one of the goblins is carrying a large like traveling sack with them as well.
Okay. I keep my hand directed towards them, but still signal to be quiet.
Okay. I need you guys, if you're going to move, and if you're raising a hand, I need you to make me a stealth check, please, because that's going to act as kind of preparing a action.
Oh, he was just redirecting his hand. He's just moving it like this. Does that count?
With what in mind?
just because he's aware that his hand is shaking. So before it was pointed
Sure.
behind, he's just kind of pointing it forwards, just in case it goes off. He's not actually preparing anything.
Okay, then I will make you guys both make stealth checks anyway, because they're on alert, just to be safe.
If I have already disadvantage from one thing, I don't get like double disadvantage, do I? It's just
No, it doesn't.
21.
21, okay, let's go.
the exhaustion doesn't affect me because I'm wearing armor.
Whoa.
I'm already at disadvantage.
But that is a 10.
Okay. That's fine. That's still a 15 total, so that's pretty good compared to hobgoblins. So you guys watch them pass, and you hear this. Oh. At last, something proper meaty to feed her.
Oh.
It's going to be a good one, boys. Prepare for your blessings. They start heading further into the hills.
That's just
Mm-hmm.
Something proper to feed her. Meaty. Someone's eating meat in this forest.
technically, human meat could be vegan if they give you consent. You continue staring off after.
You continue watching.
Goes to an existential.
You keep watching as the hobgoblins disappear into the hills, and Ulster, the sort of trembling becomes almost normal to you after a while. It just seems to be part of your movements. And you remember that this sort of like slight difficulty with movement is actually one of the things you remember being as part of your chronic illness when you were younger, that you managed to kind of like get used to over time, to the point where it almost was negligible. And looking at your hand now gives you a slight pause in that regard, but otherwise there are no issues. So Sparks, you can sorry, I interrupted you.
Actually, if this is a familiar thing to Ulster, would Sparks have noticed it on occasion previously, or like? Or
I don't see
maybe
why
I
not.
should say, would Sparks have thought it was just a normal part of his mannerisms?
Yeah,
how he
probably.
is.
I mean, you know that he's
Okay.
not very well. I think he would have.
Okay.
Hi, look at Ben's. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Bunny.
Bunny, cat,
Bunny,
bunny,
Bunny, cat, bunny, cat.
Settling down. Yeah, I think given that, even if Sparks were to notice something, she wouldn't want to like
Draw attention
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, you can feel your watch coming to a close. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss before we move on to the last watch, the dawn watch?
Are you gonna sleep with that, or the pay night?
I mean, I've had this on me for years, so it's probably going to be okay.
I mean, there was a reason why you were recommended to take it off, like immediately.
I'm exhausted, and I'm not. So this round goes to me.
Yes, you do win this time, but I'll get you.
I'll get you. Also laughs and hooks his legs up under him. I think it's fine if you go to sleep, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you're capable on your own. I feel better being able to help. But if I can't really help right now, then
You're always helpful.
Even when I'm tired.
Even when you're fast asleep.
Oh. Okay.
He kind of pats you on top of your head.
Thank you. Sure. Can I pass to Loran and then pass out?
Go wake Lorana.
Loran is a splade. He actually ended up sleeping on the carpet rather than on the ground. And he's just like wrapped himself in silk sheets. It's almost like he set up his own bed.
Hello, Loran Dehane.
That has to be a crime. What do you want?
I want you to join your boyfriend. In well, it could be many things, but it especially in taking watch. Sorry.
Go sleep, blue one. And he sits up groggily.
Thank you.
He looks at you like, oh, you must be really tired. And Loran sort of goes over to rest with you, all stare. Very quickly, however. Louis Sparks. When you close your eyes
Oh no.
after the painite,
Not the dreams.
you feel your body is growing more tired quicker. And each limb is heavy. And you know that to an extent this is just what falling asleep feels like. But it's still unnerving when your body falls asleep faster than your mind, and you kind of try and shake your limbs just to sort of readjust and keep things in equilibrium. But when you go to shake your limbs, you feel you can't move. You try to flex your toes, tighten your muscles and your fingertips, but it's all impossible. The only thing that you can do, because surely this would be the thing that draws you out of sleep, even though it's painful when you're exhausted, is open your eyes. And do you wish to do that?
Is she breathing?
She's breathing, yes.
Okay. She's breathing. Yes, I think yeah, even if it was just like trying to get comfortable and like, God, things hurt so much, but this is like extra.
Sure.
Yeah. She's like,
You open your eyes and you're in a very dark space. And when you look down at your body, something is different. The shape, it's so dark you can hardly see the shape of yourself, but you know that you're there. And you can also feel numbness as ice begins to encase you from all around.
I just thought of something from the last campaign. And I don't think it's related, but it was an emotional moment. Meeting a version of Dadalan made out of ice. But I'm sure this
if it
really
resonates. If it resonates.
Dad? Yeah.
Dad? Who are you calling Daddy?
And it's cold. And you can't quite break away. But you see something in the distance. Like a speck of white. Just light.
It's the camera light.
Oh! Ha ha ha!
Wait! I can achieve it by turning my screen off. Oh my God!
And I'm alone.
Oh, you need to see this.
White light.
Sparks, can you please make me a strength saving throw, please?
A strength saving throw. Ooh la la. Oh, I don't like this. But at the same time, I love it. That's a 15.
Okay. You reach up painfully slowly. Now that you can see ice, you know it's not your body, but there is something afflicting you, and you know that if you are restrained, you can break out of it. You just need the will, power, the strength to. And you flex your muscle as hard as you can, and there is a slight fracture along the ice. And with a shatter, your arm breaks free. With an advantage, can you make me a another strength saving throw, please?
Should I roll the other one at disadvantage because I'm exhausted?
No, this is different. Don't worry.
Oh, saving throw. That's fine. Yep. Which is higher? That is an unnatural 20.
Okay, with your hand curled in a sort of shaking, frostbitten fist, you smash down on the other arm, cracking the ice. You get like I think you have like a sword breaker that you tuck into your side, and you can just about pull it out and use the hilt of it to sort of crack along your arm, and then you rip the other one out, and you can sit up. And I think with that, your legs with both arms freed, you would be able to, in time, smash them free as well, and you are left a shivering, ice-covered husk on the floor, and that light is away from you. And then you feel something on your ankles.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Something pulling on them, gripping tightly. It's humanoid. It's a human hand pulling on your ankle, and you look back, and there is nothing there.
Do I see any negative space, absence of light making a shape around the ankle?
There is
Somehow.
nothing there. Yes, indeed you do. It's like when it's like when AI tries to fill in a space, but it doesn't know quite what to put there. And I need you to make me another strength saving throw, please. This one is straight, no advantage.
Okay. Oh my lord.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Is that from the Barbie movie?
No, it's from Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just thought Barbara. That's 16.
16. Okay. With a 16, you manage to just pull, and it's like pulling, like it's like elasticated, almost pulling gum off of you, and it breaks like strand by strand, and you manage to move one step forward and then another, and you're moving away from the darkness, away from this negative space, towards this bead of light. And the closer you get, the harder it is, but you know that you just can't stop. And when you get there, you see it is almost like a drop of sunlight, and now and then it flares like a solar flare, like pushing away. And when it lights up this dark space, and there are dozens of these creatures, their hands kind of pulling around it, sort of poking and prodding this light, that negative space trying to swallow up the glow. As this sun that you're protecting, this light is imploding on itself. But Bluey, you're really close.
Does it hurt to look at?
Sorry.
That's all right.
No. Actually, I think looking at it evokes the strongest protective feeling of just love that you've ever felt in your life.
Oh my god. Okay. That I have never fully felt before, or that is
Maybe the closest it
up
was for
something.
Dadalan,
no.
the way that when he raised you, your family.
Hmm. Yes, my family of one brother.
Oh, wow. But, Bluey asked if they could look at the light, and if it hurt to look at the light, and the answer was no, but it evokes in you the strongest feeling of love you've ever felt from any sensation, that kind of vibe.
Wow. I think actually, for real, she would sort of whisper, "Dad."
I think with that, because this is your experience, you feel a different touch now. And you kind of touch your own shoulder, not quite letting yourself lean into it, knowing that this is an urgent situation, knowing that there are people, things here that want to harm this light. And the touch almost pushes you forwards, and it reminds you of the times when your Dadalan pushed you on a swing at Moas, or sat you up when you'd scraped your knees. But it's not coming from that light, it is pushing you towards it, if that helps separate an idea of what this might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she would sort of, she'd feel on that shoulder, but I don't think she'd turn around. Yeah.
Okay.
Does she no longer feel like frostbitten? Sort of.
No, the closer you get to that light, the stronger you feel.
Okay. Something I'm protecting.
Do go towards the light.
In the back of your mind, you hear that voice again, just telling you that there is no life here.
What does that mean? What does that mean? How can there not be life here when this is the most life I've like? If this isn't life, then what is?
Oh,
It's probably what she's thinking.
that was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Tea. Lily ordered some tea.
Oh.
Sparks, you
Pumpkin
are...
tea. We've got jack-o'-lantern pumpkin chai. And this is the Pendle Witch's Brew Twisted Orange Spice Black Tea.
Oh, yum. Okay, focusing, really sorry, I'm really excited about that, but
No,
just to finish the scene, because it's quite an emotional high, I want to stay in the zone. Thank you, I love you. Sparks, when you move closer, you feel like you're almost being pulled into this, and you open up your arms, and it's like almost an involuntary movement, and you see that light, it's reaching for you, and it almost, the sort of like scattered sort of solar bursts almost form the whisper like of a hand like reaching out to your chest. Do you hug the big scary light?
Do you embrace the sun?
Do you embrace the sun?
Can I do can I do like a brotherly hug sort of thing where you take the left hand, she takes the left hand in hers, and then she wraps it around.
Yes,
wraps
yes,
the right
yes,
one around.
yes,
Yep.
yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Guys, so much my melody just arrived.
Oh my god. When you do that, you feel your forms strengthen again.
You can't hear that, can you?
You can.
I'm sorry.
Right.
What is it? Is it packaging?
I'm unboxing my plushies.
Oh, hello.
Aww,
I love it.
they're cute.
It's really cute. Very cute. When you feel that hug, you feel your form sort of strengthening again, and your exhaustion sort of is at the back of your mind.
Oh.
The thing that is most important right now is protecting this, whatever this is. Also,
Yes.
from your perspective, there is nothing remiss about Bluey's nap. You're having a lovely sleep.
Good for her.
Loran has brought you a hot, sort of spiced beverage. I think it's a hot spiced apple, made from some apples you guys found foraged nearby. You making sure that at least one of them, the one which was the home for a family of worms, was left aside.
He just wants to protect the woodlands, like every druid.
Indeed. And Loran sits beside you and he says, "Long day.
Even longer night.
Cheers."
He clinks his glass. We saw some bandits.
And you're wearing that again.
Oh yes, Sparks was a bit ill.
Didn't last long, did she?
Well, it's as powerful as you say, it's not a surprise. I'm surprised that I've been wearing it for so long and not felt that sick. So.
Are you? Are you sure it's never had any adverse effect on you?
I mean, has it? Also, have to think about it.
From the
You gave it to him when he was 17, so
but Coral has known you since he was 6 and has always had that stone. So you at first are thinking, no, of course not. That's ridiculous. But the longer you think about it, you kind of wonder, how exposed were you really your whole life? And it's a little bit of a worrisome feeling.
also kind of thumbs the stone and like shivers. Maybe, well, we're sharing it around now, so it's not really going to be a problem, is it?
Loran nods and says, "To be honest, I think, in all likelihood, the longevity of your exposure, this happens in the Feywild as well, where exposure to magical materials builds a slight resistance to them. It's different for everyone, but it might be that and a mixture of something in your genetics is likely making you more resilient than most. And I really do hope that's the case. But, I mean..."
I'm very resilient.
I know. Trust me. But either way, it is probably good to take it off, to test and see if it's having any adverse effects on you. And if it's not, then so long as you learn how to use it, which I think I can help with, how to protect yourself from it is what I mean when I say that, by the way.
When Loran starts talking about using the pain, I also kind of frowns and goes, "No, we're not talking about this right now." Shh. Puts his finger over Loran's mouth.
Shh. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. And he takes your hand and pulls it down. Ulster.
No worries. Only hot apple cider.
And watching the sunrise and not thinking about those bandits. Wouldn't you say?
How are you feeling?
Hang on, just one second.
How are you feeling?
Not the worst. Pretty good. I am excited to go to the Gauntlet. And I'm nervous, I suppose.
About fighting in the Gauntlet?
No, about your well-being, I think.
My well-being?
I suppose I'm worried about you. How funny is that?
I am perfectly fine, if that helps at all.
Make a, well, what do you think that is?
Persuasion?
Yeah.
19.
You didn't scry on Carol today. Was that...
Oh, that's fine.
When he gets out, what are you going to do?
I suppose I haven't really thought about it. I don't think it'll be too much trouble.
Some people might call that wishful thinking.
More like I just feel that he won't be too much trouble. And my feelings are usually somewhat correct, depending on the situation.
Everyone's feelings are usually somewhat blank, depending on the situation. But I trust yours.
I have good intuition.
I trust your intuition. I don't trust him and his character. But I won't think on it too much. I know you don't want to. He kind of like holds your hand and looks at the ring and just says,
Pretty.
I can't believe you convinced me to do this.
Well, technically I asked you. You must have convinced yourself.
He laughs. Well, I don't know. I think there's something else going on.
What do you mean?
You have some charms over me.
Maybe you like me.
God forbid. Laran Dehane tied down.
People always say tied down, but isn't the whole point of dating people and seeing them to end up married to them or with them or enjoying some sort of happiness with them? Otherwise, maybe I don't quite see the point.
I do enjoy being tied down, so maybe I am made for a relationship.
There is a beat of silence. Wells is like,
He jokes. Don't worry about it. I'm just, putting out there that it's going to be more than just the ceremony and then everything goes on as normal, you understand. I mean, from my understanding, a shotgun wedding does usually lead to more issues later on than beforehand. Let's just say I'm concerned about things like where we will live and who will know we are married and what you expect from me.
Ulster kind of reaches out and pats Laran's cheek. It'll be fine.
Yes, but you can say that, but I want specific answers. What are your expectations in this? The last person I thought that I was going to marry ended up going very badly. So not exactly in the best headspace when it comes to commitment. He looks a little awkward when he says that.
What do I expect when I get married? I would like to be happy. And that's kind of about it. Otherwise, I don't think I expect much. Yeah, just happy. Maybe we could go somewhere nice for a short honeymoon, like a day. That would be nice. Before we go to Eldrelith.
A day? Honeymoon's supposed to last weeks.
Well, do you want it to last weeks?
I guess I do. I mean, I suppose a day doesn't sound sufficient to me.
Then it can last weeks. It can last months. Maybe it can last years.
What about our responsibilities?
Well, I mean, I don't have to have any. Maybe.
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 I mean, I'm not that useful anyway, so maybe they won't even really mind that I'm.
He looks out to the kind of hills and just says, "Succession works interestingly in your country. Am I right?"
Mm-hmm. They have to put it to a vote, and then they put you in a test, I think. Don't really know what it is, and then they put a crown on your head and like, you will be in charge for however long we think you are good at it.
And so if you don't volunteer, you aren't in the running. So is that what you want?
You know, being a king probably comes with a lot of non-happy things, so maybe it will be okay not to be a king.
Who else would be?
I think my cousin could do a good job.
Are you saying this because of me, or is this really what you want?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Thinking about it kind of makes me feel a bit woozy.
I don't want to give up on my dreams.
I would never ask you to do that. I just suppose this is my dream right now. To be with all of you and to be happy for as long as possible. That's my dream. And as long as I can keep making that happen, then I'm okay. You're looking at me strangely.
Honestly, it's not what I expected.
Are you disappointed?
No, I have absolutely no desire to be a king or have any allegiance to a country. That seems very mortal. In the Feywild, it's not how we do things. The idea that you could be natively tied to any one place it's a very human thing.
Well, I'm not a human.
I know you're not. But you are half of one, so I wanted to check.
Yeah. I think I lost part of myself that ever wanted to be king anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's very far away now. This is making you sad. We should stop talking about it.
It's not that. I just don't want to be what prevents you from finding it again if you need it. If that is eventually ever what you want.
No. No, I want to be here with you. And I don't mind where that is.
then I'll trust you and move on to what I think is probably the last of the difficult conversations.
Mm.
Your father is a human. Your mother is an elf.
Of course. Yeah, that's true.
My parents are Fae.
Mm-hmm.
In Kalkan, there was a very long and sordid, difficult history when it came to life spans compared to the Fae and the nobles of Kalkan.
Do you think I'm going to die?
Ulster, that's not the way you should. Sorry, let me try that again. That's not exactly what I want to hear, or what I meant. You are aware that by all means and expectations, I am supposed to live for near on 800 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that most half-elves reach less than that.
Also kind of swings his leg around on the log that he's sitting on. I know that is a fact. And then he smiles again. But it's going to be fine.
It's
going to be fine.
When I think about the details, the nooks and crannies of our relationship, it becomes harder to let myself relax and be comfortable with it. But when I see you every day and don't think about those things, it's one of the easiest things I've ever done. So I'm in a weird space right now. If I say anything that has upset you, I'm sorry, or upsets you from now, I'm sorry again. It's just, I thought I should tell you my feelings. It's the mature thing to do.
I understand. And I'm sorry that is. But that's not right. That's not right. Because it's... Half-elves live for 300 years. No, it's going to be fine. Really. I promise. Don't worry.
I know Sparks is asleep, but could you do an insight check on that?
No, I'm afraid.
You know, you sing Ulcer's catchphrase.
Dawn begins to rise, and
fine.
with that, Dural is the first to wake.
Oh, bloody Gerald could have done a watch. I did too. Sorry.
Gerald did a watch with
Gerald did
Astra.
watch.
He could have done another one.
Does Gerald wake up like this? Like,
Dracula! Yes, he does.
Why did we make Gerald do double watch anyway?
It's fine.
Because we don't trust Gerald, that's why.
I trust Gerald.
For everyone who got a single watch in, you wait 4 hours for Ulster to have a nice little nap. I'm making a slow breakfast, and Ulster you wake up with no issues, don't worry.
can Ulster trance?
Half elves I think can trance, can't they? Or do they sleep?
Me?
Because that's like 4 hours, isn't it? Rather than 8.
Yeah, Ulster is fine without the full time anyway.
From what I understand, even though generally elves trance, they a long rest would still require a minimum of 6 hours of minimal to light activity.
Actually,
Including 4
no.
hours of trance, or?
I had this explained to me recently by Bree,
Yes.
but I'm fine to take in other things. Just that it was a recent discussion since half of our Wildmount party is elves.
Yeah.
Guys, do you want to see my plushies?
Yes, we do.
We've got this
Yes.
one.
Oh no!
We got this one.
Oh!
Look at little baby.
Oh my god!
Aren't they cute?
They are.
Oh.
Plus, we had Baz arching up over Emma's head,
Yeah.
and it was adorable too.
Very cool.
I'm regressing.
Yeah.
You are doing that which makes you happy.
She's a maid.
That's very cute. What was the other one?
Can I see?
Yeah. And then there's the Sakura one. And there's the Gothic Lolita one.
Oh wow, that one's my favorite.
And then there's the Pearl one.
Huge. Massive. Oh my gosh.
He's very soft.
Fuck yeah.
Also starts pulling out all the puppet dolls he's made from leaves and twigs and introducing them.
I love that.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Right, should we take a break? Because we've been playing for 2 hours and my eyes are hurting a bit. 10 minutes and then we'll come back.
Sounds great.
Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay, so you guys all wake up and have some breakfast. All
Me specifically
relax.
later than everyone. I had a good nap.
I did look it up, and I think that let's give it a solid 6 hours for elves, because then it's a good halfway point. Everyone's happy.
You could just carry him while he sleeps as well.
So Sparkathon.
Is Sparks no longer exhausted?
No, you're still. Actually, no. After a long rest,
And food.
technically, you'd be fine.
Isn't that a relief?
So, when you guys wake up, you
Oh, yes, requires food and drink. Okay.
require food and drink, and then you pack up camp and you start heading off. Now, I think Ulster and Astra, with your passive perception, the moment you guys get onto the road, the first thing a kind of grim thing that you see is a trail of grime and dirt and a little bit of blood where those bandits walked through before. They didn't really do much to cover their tracks. And another thing you see about an hour into your journey, as you're kind of following this road towards the forest, is this huge wall of trees that just starts to appear. It's like the sort of the Schwarzwald almost, lines and rows of tall, black-rooted green trees with gnarly kind of pulled up roots, and it's quite a harsh start. There are a few copses that you guys, like the ones you guys have been sort of sleeping near, wooded areas on the route, but the true beginning of the Green Sea itself is not to be missed. Now, at the far, far end of the road, you do see a lot of commotion, and there appears to be about a backup of 5 wagons that are being disassembled. You see a huge kind of outpost that's built along the side of the Green Sea. You see adverts actually just sort of hammered into or painted onto trees for different guides who live in the area, who are offering services through the sea. So you see that's about maybe a half hour's ride away. You can still sort of just see the beginnings of it.
Maybe we could go under it.
However, you do see something else, and something that gives you slight pause. You sort of take camp for lunch, just stopping to take some of your rations, and you pull off to the side of the road. And when you do, I think, Bluey, with your survival instincts, you notice the tracks from the bandits earlier disappear off into the hills here. And those tracks, if you choose to follow them, lead quite clearly up and over a hill to a slightly more obscured area. Would you like to follow? Just to see?
I think she would sort of lean to all stare. I mean, audible for everyone, but those bandits. I see that they've left a track that goes up there. Look, I would understand if we wanted to totally avoid them.
We should have a vote. Who wants to follow the beheading bandits into the hills, and who wants to be stuck in a traffic jam?
Bandits! Loran's is fun.
One for bandits. I'll vote for bandits. I think that sounds fun. Anywhere else? Like, come on.
I mean, they're not very good bandits. Look at that trail. We could just follow them from miles away.
Droll
Ashton wants
nods.
to go criticise them, so that's bandits.
I'll go for bandits because their head chopping game was not
Right,
very
that's
clean.
a majority. Sorry, Sparks. We have to go to bandits now.
Sorry, Sparks. So, okay. Sparks. With advantage from Droll.
Oh, they're having a fight.
That was so funny. Lala got distracted by a box.
Come here, Lala.
Chasing Baz.
He ran away from me.
Lala was the spider killer. So, with advantage from Droll, please make me a survival check.
Oh, that didn't land. Oh, God. Sorry. That's a 6.
Okay, you start walking the opposite direction, and Droll just like watches you wander off, like, and starts going towards the direction the bandits went.
Also, just hold on to Bluey's like shirt hem. No.
No.
Come back.
It's not
So
that way?
no. Loran smiles. So you guys follow Droll then up into the mountains.
Oh, Baz.
You come across. Whoa, Baz is real zoomies. You come across a scene of commotion just over the hill where the rocks become crags, which are kind of like sheerly drop back down to a level piece of ground. There is an abandoned camp, or what you can assume is an abandoned camp. Half packed up bedrolls and food still on a burner.
I think someone is a burner.
Is it burning?
Sparks. No, not Sparks. Astra and Ulster. With your passive perception, the first thing you notice is that there are 4 bedrolls, and all of them are medium creature sized. Can you please make me investigation checks, everyone? Anyone who wishes to.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Oh, that didn't land on a flat surface. Oh, woe is me with
19.
my shitty rolls. That's a 5.
Okay.
5.
Well, you 19 and
Here.
20 You're like shocked, Bluey, by this brazen violence. Also, first you notice that there is fresh blood on one of these bedrolls.
I go over, stick my finger in it, and put it in my mouth. Can I do a nature check?
Yeah.
Go on a tick. 13.
13, it's blood.
Is it humanoid?
It tastes like blood you'd expect from a not esoteric source. So it could be humanoid, could be animal.
Yep, that's blood, all right.
Yep. It's not weird blood.
My food, yes, I was going to get it.
Okay. Astra, you notice
Hi.
there is a large clump of like torn feathers that are each about the length of your forearm on the floor beside one of the bedrolls. And that also leads you to like a pile of hay, which seems to sort of have been disrupted, but previously could have been made into a small bed for an animal or something to sleep in. Ulster is going to tell you the details, but Loran would say to all of you that this has to be that party of eagles we saw. You saw, surely, Astra.
Ah. Like, would the feathers match the coloring, the coloration that Ulster described?
Yeah.
Oh.
One of them's done a big stinker.
Wow.
It's the group of eagles that you saw flying over you. Right.
Oh.
Ulster, you have all this information now that you're here.
Sorry, the group of eagles, what happened?
So, the camp that you've come onto is the camp of the people, the 4 eagle riders.
Oh, and they've been ambushed.
They were ambushed. So, there are signs of a struggle. And Ulster, you notice with your natural 20 that the fresh blood leads from the haystack where you imagine the eagles would have slept, in sort of around this crag out of sight.
I immediately pursue it.
Okay, 1 minute. Just give me a second.
Not even a second, I'm off.
From your kind of like sniffing at the ground and sort of like comparing the feathers, you can tell that the large clump of feathers from the bird that you are following is the same as the one who was injured. And you kind of go around and you see in a heap of twisted limbs and broken bones the body of one of these large eagles.
No, is it dead? Ulster is visibly upset.
It is cold, it's dead, and the blood does not stop there. It carries on into a copse of trees, which leads right up to the sort of like line of the green sea and disappears, becoming part of it.
Right, let's get him.
Sparks.
What is a copse of trees, and how do you spell copse?
COPSE. So there is a copse of trees is a grouping of trees in a rough circle. It's not quite dense woodland, but it's like something you would see in like woodland associated areas. So, for example, if you're ever like driving down like a more rural road, and you look over at the hills and you see like a collection of trees, maybe like 10 meters each way, or that they stick up on their own. That's a copse.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Like woodland would have like more of a scattering of trees, like kind of loosely. So we've got an area of like woodland common near us, which has like rows of trees which kind of come up every now and again. And then forestry is dense. So that's the difference. That smells really good. Okay, so following the blood into the trees, you Droll puts his hand up and he just says, "We should be stealthy here."
You first, then.
Of course. Right, can everyone please roll me stealth checks?
We're protecting a certain someone here. So I think Sparks would want to get ahead, even though she's like the least.
I rolled a 7.
Aww. Droll rolled a 28.
19.
Okay, maybe let's see if Droll can save you. Let's see what Lorand rolled. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so we got a 7 from Lorand.
Ulster and Lorand decide to hold hands. It's quite unwieldy ground, so they trip and fall.
Yeah. Sparks, what did you roll?
A 9.
9. And a Vaslia?
19.
Okay.
Christ.
7 for Ulster as well, correct?
Yeah.
7 plus 7 plus 9 plus 19 plus 28 equals divided by 5. Oh, okay, 14. So it's not terrible. All right.
Droll's just a bit bitter.
Don't be bitter, because I'm fitter. Right. Luckily, the DC was lower than 14. So you guys managed to, despite Ulster and Lauren treating this like a date, sneak into the woods.
You guys are like, shut up, guys.
Gerald starts speaking in your minds, his message kind of reaching out to you like a shadow kind of like passing through your eyes. And he just says quietly, obviously not speaking aloud, but messaging you. They dragged one of them through here in the undergrowth. I think they wanted it alive. It
Unpleasant.
struggled. It got a weapon, and you see on the ground there is a sheath that's been trodden on and bent like this. Green blood. Dead blood. And looks over, and you guys come around, and leaning up against one of the trees is the body of one of the goblins. It's just got its like throat slashed, and where it's been slashed, the wound is kind of like pulsing with like this kind of grey black almost energy.
Oh no.
Droll
Can we roll
heals away.
Arcana on that?
Yeah, you can.
Um,
16.
Goblins definitely not breathing, right?
Not breathing. It seems to be a weapon effect of some description. And Gerald says, there was panic. Why didn't they kill them? That doesn't make sense. The trail,
These are the
He sort
same
of-
bandits.
they must be.
They talked about fresh meat. Finally, she'd get some fresh meat. Something like that.
Gerald fans out, following each track to its end point, and says, "Oh, I have been gone a long time." And then looks up, and you all sort of look up, and in the tree, like the leaves of the trees, when you look up, you're expecting, just like on the outside, to see green, but instead you see thick, creamy white web that's just made a nest up in these leaves, and suspended, some of them dead, some of them still squirming, you see 5 hobgoblins and one kind of large hobgoblin captain who is screaming a quiet scream that's been frozen on his face in death. And from his mouth, you just see white broth and like what looks like eggs.
Excuse me, Emma, I am eating. Can we not go that far?
Sorry. Sorry. Pouring.
Oh.
Oh.
They're not all dead, right? Some of them are.
We don't care about the hobgoblins, do we?
Make me an investigation check, guys, as you see this.
Oh. Oh, why am I rolling 2? That's 16.
15.
Okay.
13.
How many are left to save?
Okay. Let me just get this up.
Oh, I did not choose spells. Or I didn't change spells.
Okay.
I think I keep it as is.
So you guys look up and you notice. What did you get on your investigations, Astra?
13.
Sparks?
16.
16. Astra?
15.
15. Astra, you're kind of caught up in the sort of idea of the spiders, and it's hard to look away from that screaming face. Sparks and Ulster. Sparks first, you kind of point up. You see a larger figure, like a green arm just kind of like reaching out and quivering, and it's holding a knife, and it's just limply hacking, moving. And with every move, it strums the whole web structure.
No, it shouldn't be doing that.
And you see the shadow of something black begin to spiral down. And it is... Yes, I really do. It is monstrous. Just like me.
I think I would like to get out a javelin of mine. And I'm
You reach and slowly pull your javelin. As you prepare, are you preparing an attack?
I am thinking so. I'm thinking if there's a way to hit the web in a certain spot to draw the spider's attention away from, firstly, us, and secondly, anyone who's alive in that web.
Okay.
So that might be a far away. If it's more than 20 feet, then it's going to be a shit throw.
Yep.
But is it 20 or 30 feet? It's 30 feet. Okay. Yeah.
So that's a good idea. So can you, just as you're preparing this, because you're already stealth, you have advantage. I just need you to roll me one more flat stealth. Oh wait, for you it's flat because it's a disadvantage roll.
Okay.
Just to make sure you can remain. Oh. How is it?
That's a natural one.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Well,
anyway.
yeah.
Oh, it was nice knowing you all.
Together. Right.
We died together.
As you guys.
No, I just rolled a natural one in a stealth roll while about to attack a spider.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So
This is what it looks like.
you pull back and your javelin hits something. And all of you guys slowly turn around to look at Bluey. And then your eyes draw up to look at what is behind Bluey. And you just hear a...
No!
And I would like you all to roll initiative.
How many spiders are there?
2.
What?
One small one.
Oh no!
One smaller one and one mama.
Shit! Hey there, big mama. I can't do Johnny Brother.
Oh my god!
Kidding me? I rolled. I mean, it's initiative, but I rolled a 1. So that's a 3. You'll ask down the thing. Won't you?
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
I'll hold on to it.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna roll for each of you. It's gonna be 5.
Sorry, guys.
It's fun. I like that image. Of course I do. 11.
Okay, what can I do?
Gerald. This dice is real shizer.
Since what bit?
Nah, I roll in a minute.
Which dice is it?
This one I got for you.
This one I got for you.
Sorry. Okay, and last off, Loran. That's not bad. Okay. Brum, 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 brum. Actually, there's a lot of people in this fight.
A lot of people. A lot of arachnids.
Indeed, there are.
There's too many of them, I say.
I say. Well, I say, old chap.
Yes, I say. How is my impression of the nobility of England?
It's very good, yes. Very good, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yes. Stiff upper lip and all that.
And last but
Sorry.
not least, our friend, the gift. Oh, 18. Pretty good. That is 20. Dirty 20. Okay, so 25 to 20.
21.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh my god, this really butchered that spelling. 20 to 15.
That would be me with a 17.
Nice. And Sparks, you got a
3.
Fab. So first up in the order is Ulster. Ulster. Here is the scenario. Above you is 20 by 20 foot of web. You are in difficult terrain because it is so all your movement is halved in this area. You are not yet in the web though, so do not you worry. You are not restrained.
Right.
Let me just put on my music. There are 2 opponents, so there is
2 giant spiders.
2 giant spiders. Well, one of them is very big. One of them is very big indeed.
When you say very big, how big is it?
Much bigger than a giant spider.
What?
Humongous chungus.
How big is that then?
This room,
The biggest of the room.
including legs. The body is probably like 2 of those bean bags.
Ew.
And the legs of the room.
Right. Knowing that I am more of an offensive fighter than maybe some other people, with my magic, I will head to the front focus on, like where Bluey is, I will focus on the really big spider, and I'm going to cast Cause Fear
Okay.
on the spider, and it's a wisdom saving throw.
Now, on the giant one or
The giant one.
Okay, that one's up in the trees.
Yep.
The one behind.
60 feet of.
Okay, so you don't need to move for that if you don't want to.
Okay, no, but I will put myself in good position. I can't. Where are we all oriented?
So you're just scattered on the ground. You guys, it's within. You're all very close together, so it's kind of negligible.
Okay.
You're all within touch distance.
In that case, I'll put myself at the front of the group. I have to cast Cause Fear.
Okay. Cool. So after that, Cause Fear, wisdom saving throw. 16 on the dice.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Nothing happens. He's like, oh no.
Wait, but they some of these have minuses to their intelligence. Let's just see. Okay, no, unfortunately. Right. So, is there anything else you'd like to do in your turn? Bonus action, movements?
It's not. Well, I mean, I've moved to the front of the group.
Yeah.
Not really that much I can do. Hold on. I will bonus action. I think I can get this ready.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of moves his hands in front of the group, and a fiery blade begins to form in the air.
Roll me.
You can't use it.
You can't use it. That's fine. But can you please then roll me a d20?
D20.
Yep.
12.
Hang on. Let me just check. Okay. You are going to just take 1d6 fire damage from your own flames, as there is a huge burst from your left hand, which scalds you. That's going to be 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He kind of like hisses again, but doesn't seem to react too strongly.
Okay. You notice anyone who's near Loran, you notice him kind of flinch when he sees that. Next up, then, in the order, we have the Gith-Yankee fighter, who is going to continue to try and break their restraint with disadvantage because they are fully encased in web. 15 on the lower.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. Let me just check. Okay, you see it with that one last incredibly heavy stroke of its weapon, manages to just catch the piece which is keeping it suspended up. And for better or for worse, the Gith-Yankee and its whole like web sack is dropped to the ground floor, and a dozen tiny spiders start crawling off and away from it, and it starts thriving and thrashing on the ground. That is its whole turn because it's at the end of the turn. Next up in the order is Astra.
Okay. How bad off does this Gith look?
You cannot see them. You can only see their arm.
Can I attempt to assist their escape from this webbing in that case?
Of course you can, yeah.
My turn.
So you're going to... I will need you to make me a strength... let me just check. Is it a saving throw or a check?
If it helps,
strength check, please.
Could I give myself advantage by using primal savagery to just sharpen, like following Alstair's example of sharpening my nails into talons and just ripping?
Yeah,
a bit?
Of course. I think that'd be fine. Yeah. There's still no guarantee it'll work, but you just have to beat the save. So roll an advantage.
That is, you said a strength saving throw.
Strength check.
Strength check.
At advantage.
At advantage, it is a 19 on the die, so an 18.
18. Okay, cool. So with an 18, you manage to slice through, and like the silk that kind of keeps them encased just bursts open, and they manage to kick themselves out of the bottom part. I will describe this person on the next time. So,
I still have a bonus action, like hence.
bonus action. What would you like to do with it?
How bad do they look?
They look pretty bad. Yeah.
In which case, I'll use my bonus action to healing word.
Fabulous. Okay. Right. Loran yells out, "Do we want to save anyone else up there, or can I?"
Yeah, yes. If they're alive, yes.
The gift takes
yes,
7
that's fair.
back, by the way.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. He instead directs his hands towards the giant, big mama. Big mama. I'm just gonna call it Big Mama.
Big mama.
Big mama.
And
Big mama.
he is going to pull back a firebolt, and he pulls it back kind of like an archer would, and then releases it, and it just spears in. I have to make a roll. Six, just I always roll 16. 23, so that's going to hit.
I'm just going to get Allstairs blessed twice.
Yeah, you should. For 10 points of damage total to this big mama. Right. Next up in... Oh, wait, actually, I wonder if he might Misty Step. No, he doesn't need to do that. Okay, cool. He's going to hold everything else. He's not going to move except to join next to you, Allstair. And he's going to hold your arm, and he's just going to say, deep breaths. Focus on it.
Also kind of nods. His hands are probably trembling slightly.
Don't lean into the painite. I know it's hard. And that is all.
Wait, Allstairs says, it'll be fine.
Oh my god.
Sorry guys, I had to do it.
So, next up in the order we have the monstrous spider. That's what they're actually called.
Ew.
She is going to come down on her web, is going to pull up 1 and 2 of her arms, and is going to lean forward and bite you guys. So, first bite is going to go to you, Allstair. I dropped that. Oh, 18. Plus 9. 27 to hit.
Yeah.
You take 8 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
Wait, hang on a second. No, sorry. 8 points of damage, of which 6 are poison.
I'm just checking.
I think you're immune to poison.
Not at the moment, I don't think.
Okay.
Let me just check.
You are not currently poisoned, though, yet.
No, he's not yet immune to poison. He's quite low level. So.
Okay, for sure. Right, so that's 8 points. The next one is going to go towards Loran, who just hit it. 23. 7 plus 6. 13 points, of which 6 is poison.
Okay.
Oh, lordy.
Hang on, sorry, I didn't put him at a long rest.
Just let us know how the squishy wizard is holding up, and also
Bit boys.
Allstair.
Yes, Lauren, can you go to the back?
Mm-hmm. I think Loran says you'll need me for the next part. Trust me. And next up in the order, we will have Giral, actually. So Giral is going to use his action to spider climb up the trees. And he is going to cast Dissonant Whispers. No, that was wrong. I was reading the one above it. He is going to cast Fairy Fire on the big mama spider, which she needs to save. 3 on the dice. It's pretty good. So I don't think that's going to make a DC 13. So essentially what happens is you guys see the light. I think Dural leeches some of the light from Ulster's fire that's still there and uses it to kind of illuminate around this spider. And guys, so you know, she is, any attack roll has advantage against her. And she cannot benefit from being invisible, so that's a fun little extra. Okay. As a bonus action, he is going to call out to you, Astra, and is going to say, "Show me how well you'll fight your own kin." Just not talking about the spider. And you get a use of bardic inspiration.
Ooh.
Right. So, with that in mind, Dural is spiders akin to Drow.
I know, but wait.
Question: okay. What is the D? What's the D?
What is the D
for inspiration?
A D6.
Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. No, D8.
Ooh.
He's level 5. He's a little bit higher than y'all. Right, next up in the order is Sparks.
Oh, he said that.
He said that, yes.
I thought you meant the spider said that.
No,
I'm very confused. Like, why is she helping? Dissonant. I
think Dural just yelled, "Fucking kill it."
Okay.
You need any help?
So I guess instead of the original plan that Sparks had, because she made all them known to the spiders, I think she's going to cast. Where is that spell? If I cast Divine Favor, Divine Favor.
Yes.
Where your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 radiant on a hit. Mm-hmm. Do those nothing about that specifies melee or anything like that. So I think that covers javelins as well.
Yeah, I would say so. I think if it just says your weapon attacks, then I would take it as that. Let me just look for you. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, it can be either.
Divine Favor then. That's my bonus action.
Right, go whack that monster man.
And then, so for the next, it's concentration. So I have 6 turns. Which means an extra 1d4. There we go. No, I didn't make contact. There's one. Okay. Sorry for that noise. And then rolling to hit with the javelin. Is it more than 30 feet, the big spider, from me?
Yes, I would say so.
So disadvantage on that roll.
But
right.
You would get.
Oh wait, no, actually, sorry. You get it. No. I think that I don't think this copse is big enough for it to be 30 feet away. Now that I think about it,
okay.
So I would say just do with advantages with standard.
13 to hit.
Okay, actually, a 13. No. Yep, that hits.
Oh, okay.
It is not particularly armored.
Right. Oh, that's a 6 on that dice.
Nice.
And that's a 3 there, so that's in total 12. Hang on, sorry, 12 damage. 9 of which is piercing, and 3 of which is radiant.
Perfect. 9 damage total.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. It's looking a little bit uncomfortable.
That's my action and bonus action done, I think I'll then move to be, if I'm not already next to like Loran and Ulster,
Okay.
I would like to be next to both. And if that's not possible, just Loran.
Sure. Understood. You can guard Loran, I think, whilst also leaving room for Ulster's attack. Right. Next up, then, in the order, the giant spider. Who is going to use its web to try and restrain. Oopsie. I think it's going to try and restrain Ulster because he has got a very obvious attack ready, and because they're vulnerable to fire, they really don't want that. So, 13 plus 5, 18. What's your AC?
No.
Not 18. Ulster, you feel a thump in your back as you're pushed forwards, and there is just web spreading out, and you've got the fire kind of kindling in one of your fists, but you are restrained at the moment.
Was Ulster hit with an attack?
Yes, he was.
Did it do any damage?
No, it doesn't do damage.
Okay.
Why are you asking?
Whether I could reduce damage, but no, if it's
Not at the moment, I'm afraid.
no.
Which means we're back at the top of the order, and that's Ulster's turn.
You for 30 seconds while I pee?
Yes, I also really need to pee. La 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 la. Piss 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 piss. Okay, well then I'll have the I can have the gift Yankee there in action. Let me see. Prepare. I'm just gonna pick an action for the gift Yankee who goes after you.
So, I'm right near the monstrous spider,
right? You are within like 30 feet of it, yes. Because you're a little bit ahead of the group.
I said I got up to it though.
Yes, then you can be within touch distance. But you are restrained at the moment.
I think I can do this because I pre-conjured it. I'm going to make an attack with the flame blade.
Okay. Yeah. Right, you might need to make this at disadvantage.
Yep.
Let me just check.
But it's got fairy fire, so it'll be straight.
Straight up, yep.
That's 18 to hit.
18 does hit, yep.
4, 6, 5 is what?
15.
That's 15 fire damage.
It is bloody.
And he will, with his bonus action, reach out towards Loran, and he's going to cast Healing Word on him.
Beautiful.
Which will be 4 plus 4 is 8. Back.
Perfect. He looks pretty good. Right. With that, Loran says, thank you. Now, you cast your Flame Blade. Can you please roll me a d20 just for funsies?
4.
4. Okay, you're fine.
I'm fine?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm fine.
So, as you...
He's like, see, I can do this from under the whip.
As you cast it, you feel that kind of warmth, that tremor in your hand begin to spread throughout your whole arm. And even though you have successfully cast the spell, you do feel the sort of like instability of it spreading. Okay, the gift Yankee gets up from its webbing cage, rushes over to the giant spider, the one behind you, Bluey, and it is going to use its greatsword attack as it pulls out this folding blade and flips it open. And and it is going to make 2 attacks. That's fine. 1 doesn't hit. 1 does as a 15, and that is 2d6 of this. 5 plus 2. So it takes 7 slashing damage, and it gets carved down the middle slightly there. And then the Githyanki opens its mouth and screams at it. And there is this like ripple of air, like a funnel coming out of their mouth. And the spider just curls in on itself like it's been sprayed with like poison almost.
Whoa.
And that is 9 points of psychic damage. So 16 points in total. And the spider is immediately on half health. The giant spider looks bloody. So both of the spiders are now below half health.
Okay.
Right. Next up in the order, we have Astra. What are you going to do? Lily. What did you get?
Nothing.
Astra.
I think Astra's gonna go for some violence.
Violence. Yes. Okay.
Sorry, did you say go for some violence? Oh, wow.
Does a dirty 20 hit the spider that is threatening our group?
Which one?
The one that's
2.
in front of Ulster.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So Astra just very coolly walks right up to it, places a hand on it, and casts Inflict Wounds with a dirty 20.
Okay, Slay, can you please roll damage, please?
Okay. That is a 10, a 9, and a 3. So 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 necrotic damage.
The spider explodes from the inside out. It gets like, becomes a dry like husk, and it twitches, and then and there is just organic matter being spewed everywhere, and these like dehydrated egg sacs begin to kind of like fall out of where its belly was.
Is this the big one or the small one?
The big one.
Yeah, Astra just looks over to draw like, yes, I think I can.
Mm-hmm. Fab. The mama is dead, which means it's Gerald's turn. He is going to go over to the smaller one. And okay. You saw him cast a spell. Just fine. That is something you've seen many times before. And when Gerald sees that, he goes over to the smaller spider, who is starting to kind of cower back almost, and is like peeling away from the fight and towards the tree line. And he says, "Good." And then in just a moment, you make a blink of an eye, the spider's head just falls from its body. And he says, "Now you need to learn to enjoy it." And the other spider is also leaving you with a shit ton of web, some dead egg sacs, some writhing goblins above you, maybe 2 of them are still alive, and a Githyanki. So,
Okay.
How is everybody looking for health?
Loran has lost a little, and also I think has lost some.
Can we free Ulster from the web at this
Oh
point?
wow, that's so cute, Lily. Show them.
Oh,
It's got little bats on it.
It's got little bats all over it.
It's adorable.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god.
It's a little bit big, but it's comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's next in the order after Gerald? Is it
You?
Spells? Okay.
But you're no longer technically an initiative, so you guys.
Okay, right.
Can someone?
Okay.
Assassin's Creed web.
Yes.
Sparks, would you like to
Okay.
come out?
Yes. If I can very carefully do that with my sword.
Yep, you can definitely try that. So can you just roll me
Comfortable
just roll me a strength check?
Okay. That's an 8.
You start slowly hacking through. Also, you feel the sword just brush up uncomfortably against your side.
But maybe use your hands.
Okay, yep.
I'm not into that.
Joel just
Into
doesn't
what?
say anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's been up and down today. I threw that fucking javelin really well, and then why can't I? It's just web. Surely it's just. Am I able to get him
Make
out?
a strength check again.
Another one.
I give Sparks advantage if I start burning the edges of it with the fire.
Yes, but I need you to roll me a d20.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, okay. On a natural 20, you it up completely.
He just stands up.
2 natural 20s!
Just as Sparks rips it.
Just to release all from some web. Beautiful. You guys are perfect team.
Okay.
Right, so you guys are left with this.
All right, fair citizens / common bandits. I'll help save you.
We just need the bandits.
They have eggs in them. I can't. If they're alive.
They were kind of, from the sounds of it, serving those spiders. So I mean,
Oh,
Hang on.
well, maybe they can learn their ways and serve something else.
right.
Or we can starve
I think with some divine favor left, I think Sparks would like to javelin a few key webbing points.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all right.
That's fine. Of course you can. So you're going to start by releasing the webbing. Make me an investigation check.
Okay. Is any of the webbing? Well, I could find this out with an investigation check, actually. Oh, a 15.
A 15.
In particular,
Yeah,
is there
some
any
of the
anchor points close to the ground, say within a 5-foot reach of Sparks instead?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd say.
With the longsword, then two-handed, she'll cut at the one on the ground, and that will do a little bit extra damage because of radiant stuff. Do you want me to roll damage?
Sure.
Okay. I believe it's D10 with the two-handed. Yes, it is. That's a nice D10. That's an 8 plus 2. That's 10 plus 3, 13 slashing.
Okay.
Let's go.
You manage to fell the web and it comes crashing down. Some of the goblins' bodies just kind of flop, partially stuck in awkward positions. The still living 2 or 3 are just heavily breathing and struggling, and actually after a while one manages to escape from its bonds, helps its friends, and then rushes off towards the woodland, leaving you guys in your dust.
No,
healing.
Stop them.
Okay.
Would you like healing?
You yell. One of them stops and looks around. I don't know how you guys want to handle this. Make a persuasion check, Bluey.
Got the power of love on my side. I don't know. That's a natural 20.
One of them looks severely injured and is looks after its 2 friends who are running and kind of encouraging it on, and then instead limps back towards you.
Let me come to you. Yep.
Looking a little low.
Okay. Hello there. A marvelous song. I'm gonna. Right. Okay. First of all, I'll do 5 HP worth. Do they look diseased or poisoned?
They look everything. They look in all ways
Everything.
broken.
I would love to.
Why are we healing these people? They're murderers.
I'm no
I don't know
We saw
but
you carrying.
Noonism.
There was a beheaded person.
Okay. I'm gonna first up just heal 5 HP.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go. Okay. Okay. All right. Do you feel any better?
They look like a new person. They're very low HP, these guys. Yes, they feel, you could almost say, 50% better.
Okay. Do they look poisoned or diseased? Can I roll?
They look inbred.
And you can't cure that.
I can't really cure that. However, they do look very sheepish now, and they're looking kind of wary around the group. And he says, I don't need any more healing. I will go now.
I can give you a bit more.
No, and they start moving back.
Maybe we should.
No, you'll have no obligation.
No
to us
prison
except to
for
not-
Prism. He starts rocking
Prison?
back and forwards. He says, "No prison for Prism."
If I heal the rest of you, I only ask that you don't attack us. And maybe stay out of any sticky situations.
Prism hates them. He hates his friends.
Why?
They all led him astray on the path of wrongdoing. He had good grades and a husband until he met them.
What happened to your
Who's
husband?
Prism?
Oh, he was killed by a dragonborn. He was killed by a dragonborn in the Fang. It was a long time ago. Like 2 weeks.
How's your father?
My father killed my husband. My father killed my husband.
But Bluey looks up at the rest of the party, like hearing this family history, like.
My father killed my husband, and my father is a red dragonborn.
Very good. I feel like I don't want to take on this baggage.
Is
I'm just gonna heal you. Alright. Yep.
my father caused a schism in Chrism's family.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. There you go. There's another HP. 5 HP.
I'm adopted. He is fully peeled. What do you want to know? And before you can get any further, the Githyanki pushes past, pulls out their sword and holds it up to Chrism's throat and says, "Say one more word and I will slit you from mouth to genital."
That would just really waste the healing, though.
Why would you heal in the first place? And he flips their sword around. And she flips their sword around to you guys. Who are you?
We let you go. Rude.
Well,
Does not mean I trust you.
question, who are you? And, yeah.
My name is my own.
My
But-
own.
Fair enough.
My own. Okay.
Actually, that's kind of a cute name. My own. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? My name is my own. And yours?
Ulster.
Bluey Sparks. Pleasure to meet you and your very cool sword.
No one else gives their names.
Astra.
She gently lowers the blade. Puts it away. It sort of flips back into a kind of octagonal shape, and she shoves it into her belt.
That is
God,
marvelous.
that's so cool.
Very good for spatial confinement.
She looks you up and down once, Bluey, and then looks away. Did you come across my steed?
The dead eagle, yes, it's dead. Sorry. Didn't do that, we just found it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You're clearly upset, so if you want a moment to grieve.
You can let me grieve. And she turns around and looks at Chrism. But I won't. No. I trust you somewhat.
Do you need additional healing?
She looks down at... Yes. But let's get back on the road.
Okay.
I would request that you could take me back to civilization.
We're going into the Green Sea.
Yes. You don't happen to be going to the big fighting competition?
The Gauntlet.
Is
The
that what you're doing?
Gauntlet? That's the one.
Yes, it is.
Ah,
Oh.
No, I do not go to fight. I go there seeking knowledge.
of what?
Disturbance.
Hmm.
At the mention of
Disturbance
knowledge,
in-
Astra peeks up. Or perks up.
Stop being so horny, everybody. No.
Disturbance in the vibes or disturbance in the...
Yes, the vibes.
That was a joke. You're supposed to actually say what you mean.
Well, we're investigating, in some ways, the vibes being off in many places.
No, Sparks, when I tell a joke, you're supposed to support it and laugh and go, ha ha, that's funny. The whole point of the joke.
Well, I
was a
thought
funny joke.
really, it's an interesting comparison, vibes and the illness, the sickness.
Please, I haven't got too much time and I need to catch up to my companions.
Oh, they
Okay.
escaped.
Yep, 5
Good.
HP.
Yeah, I hope
Can I
they
heal you?
But what disturbance are you looking for?
Okay, so first you're healed.
Also,
Then she looks over at you and she just says, there is plenty disturbed, but the one specific is... There are a certain set of creatures that we banished from this realm that have started rearing their heads again, and I am one of those who would be interested in making sure they stay gone.
What creatures?
Creatures not of this place.
Does it look like this? He gets out his journal and goes with the bell hand off.
She goes,
This one?
yes,
Yeah, we found one of those.
Oh.
then I will speak to you. I have heard rumours there is one such creature at this gauntlet, and I am here to see whether it is the case or not.
A bell hand off.
Not exactly like this. Similar. Hopefully this is an isolated incident. But if it is not, then I must return north and return to the mines and face whatever chasm is there myself.
That's very noble of you.
There are not many left who could do such a thing.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you. But please, could you help me get back to safety? I may need to send a message or two.
We're going to the Gauntlet. Do you want to come?
I think that it's safe to say, after potentially... What are you guys going to do with Chrism?
It's just kind of there.
Chrism looks like they might start trying to run away. Unless...
Chrism, what do you want from life?
I don't have any wants, really.
Why don't you go find your father? Yeah.
Wait, your father who killed your husband?
Still, there might be a chance of reparation. That was a 19.
I don't think that's a good
Turns
idea.
around and starts
I think
leaving.
it's a great idea. Bye, Crizzo. He put the hand over Blue's mouth unless you stop him. Bye. Bye.
I'm sure you guys will meet again. So I'm gonna say yes.
Can't just adopt goblins.
Loran says, but we can adopt Gith Yankee women.
Not adopt.
Who said anything about adopting? We're all helping each
No,
other
of course,
out.
romancing. Excuse me, it'd be very weird if you were adopting her. You all look very intrigued.
Speaking of romancing, she made a look earlier, and I wanted to insight check it, but I'm guessing I've missed that opportunity.
It's when you said you're very good with a sword. I mean, you can retroactively do so.
As in, I can roll insight?
Yeah, for sure. You could go up to, you could even talk to her if you wanted to
are
ask.
So flirtatious. You just get married to multiple men like you.
Oh yes.
Stop!
See,
I don't know what it sounds like.
my own is an independent person over here with a very cool sword.
I prefer shield.
Insight?
Did she say she prefers shields?
Oh god. Hey, that's a 19 on insight.
You take it as intended, I'm sure. Anyway.
Well, they worked well together.
You head. No, I'm joking. No. I get what you meant. That took me a second. I get what you meant. Yeah. She goes, not too fast, darling. And starts walking ahead of you all. Now, you guys go back to your cart. Or at least where you had parked your cart. And you find, quite sadly,
what?
this close to civilization, it is now missing a wheel and a horse. You still have one horse and a 3-wheeled cart. Sparks.
Sparks is like a heavy sigh and like goes over to the spoke of the missing wheel and picks it up with her hands and is like, I'll be the wheel. Come on.
Oh.
I could be the horse, but there's no point in having 2 horses to pull a 3-wheeled cart. One of the wheels is Sparks. No offense, don't think it would be worth it.
It'll make you run really fast, Loran says. Well, I'll hang out with our new friends.
What?
I will hang out on the front of the cart and do nothing.
You kind of like commented, you don't like her, do you?
What? Why would I like her?
You said you wanted to hang out with her.
Yes, as a friend.
And then she's also like, not so fast as a friendship.
Also, I think Bluey would have caught like Astra make a cheeky little wink, like, "Oh, I see you're flirting with her. That's awesome. Good for you."
I feel like, don't forget, she also flirted with you. There is plenty of this.
That was her flirting with Astra. Okay.
There is. Look. If Astra can accidentally flirt with everyone, my NPCs will do the same. I'll meet your energy.
I love it.
Also, himself to Loran is like, no.
She looks around. Actually, do you know what though? With all the jokes aside, she does look around at all of you and say, "I have lost a good close friend just a moment ago. You really are all, no jokes, going too fast. Please calm down.
I'm not interested in you.
You're just acting strange. I would like to be let alone for a moment." Like you suggested.
Absolutely.
She sits in the cart and looks in a corner.
With Droll.
And Droll is also there. He's like, I feel kinship to her.
Do you want a
Strange.
book to read?
Why is
or
everyone
is there
like her so
something
much?
comforting that we can offer?
A book, perhaps.
Okay. Astra will pull out
Puffs you an extra way.
probably like a couple of books. Like actually, there's definitely no smut in there.
That's fine. Yeah, for sure. She reads. That's great.
I can't offer a book. Sparks says quietly, and then is like, "Why did I say that?"
Would you like an audiobook experience?
Wait,
Just Sparks,
Right,
like,
so you
would you like
guys
me to
carry
read a
on
book while
those.
you carry the cart?
Now, this interaction took place after lunch. I think that it probably also made a rest happen. Just a short one to recover and sort of really get your grips of what happened. So you guys pull in. Yeah, you can short rest. You guys pull into this sort of semi-populated area a little before evening. You are able to go and you're able to buy some dinner rather than making it yourselves, which is a relief. You hear the extortionate prices of the various taverns, and also that they are pretty much all full, and so are forced to spend one more night out under the stars, at least for now.
Everyone except Lorana's, please.
Lorana's like, ugh.
Camping.
I'll pay
out
I will
of
pay
camping.
it. I will pay it for me and Ulster, but not for you. But I will.
Enjoy if you would like to be inside. I am perfectly happy outdoors.
The Githyanki says, "Would you pay for me to send a letter?" And he says, "No, I don't know you."
Yeah.
God, everyone.
He doesn't know you, and he doesn't like you. So.
She leans forward and looks you up and down. Insolent. I like it.
He's like, no! Hides behind Lorana.
I see the two of you come as a set. No. That's all right. Like I said,
price of one.
And goes, and then hides back behind Loran.
like I said, prefer shields, and turns around to the women. All right, so you guys sit down and all begin to make camp again. You guys can do the watches, and Loran says to you also, would you like to do the first watch with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you go to bed?
Sparks feels bad for wanting to clarify, but she does ask my own. Was your close friend that you lost today? I think was that one of Bert's?
She nods and she says, I raised her from an egg. And she's a very special kind of bird. They're not often found, and there are not many of their kind in this world. I will not find another.
I feel so bad. I just thought, what if I did like a funeral rites for the bird? The bird has to be within 10 feet to not become undead for 7 days. I don't know. So, but instead of that, I think Sparks sort of.
You could have picked up a feather if you like.
Would have the same effect.
You know what? Yeah, I'll allow it to have an emotional effect, like a ceremony for sure.
I mean, I'm not too worried about the corpse of the bird being used to become undead, but more so just I think she wants to carry out a small little
for sure blessing.
Right. Okay.
And she just says, well, as long as my kin have survived and theirs are intact, I will be able to go home, which is all good. I will mourn in my own way. And she sort of gets up and makes it kind of clear by climbing into a tree and sort of sleeping on one of the branches that she doesn't necessarily want to talk to people. But she does thank you, Lily Spark.
Throughout this, but a symbol.
Sparks +1 love interest.
Yeah, I think she touched like the symbol on her shield and then feel weird about it, and then sort of, I don't know. Yeah, sort of. You were taken care of well. I hope you're taken care of further in rest.
She looks, I think sort of before she went off to the tree, so she looks down at the feather and just holds it under her palm and opens her mouth, and she sings a very light funerary tune, which feels like it gets right into your bones, and Ulster, you especially feel quite calmed by it. Perhaps because of your connection to animals, who knows?
Astra would take notes on this after the fact.
For sure.
That she'll read more about in her dreams.
First watch will be Ulster and Loran, as you guys all come to sleep. Loran is looking over at the last of the horses, sort of a little upset that one of the ones he chose is gone. But
I mean, maybe it's gone to a new home.
He nods and he just says, well, I can tell why they left this one specifically, though. And he kneels down to her back foot and he just says, her clenches are raised. Gone a little lame. We should leave her before we enter the sea.
Oh, you know horses very well. Because of your father, obviously.
I mentioned that. No. Yes, he was a farrier in the Feywild, so he taught me a thing or two, you know. It's nothing too grand. I was never exactly going to take over the family business.
Well, we'll let her go tomorrow morning. Let her rest for the night.
That sounds about right. And he pats her and sort of just does a little clumsy braid in her hair. Looks around and says, how do I do? Never mind. Go away.
You can practice on my hair when it's longer.
Do you think you'd grow it out?
I mean, I cut it before I came here, so it will probably grow.
He sort of sits down, leaning against a trunk, I think. And there's like a nice little mossy kind of like blanket on top of it, making it a soft place to sit. He just pats the ground next to you.
You alright?
Yeah. It's just weird to talk about my parents.
Also kind of looks around. Is it quite private, this area?
Yeah, I'd say so. Just about.
I'm not going to force you to talk. It doesn't have to be about your father, if you don't want. But maybe we should talk a little bit more, considering we're getting... He kind of holds up the ring. Maybe if there's anything you want. I want to know you. I'll let you know me too, obviously. I'm very willing to be patient.
I can tell that you're curious. And I do want to be open. I just don't really know where to start. So if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them for you.
I just notice sometimes that you're avoidant. I want to know how I can help, if I can support you in any way. Maybe you don't want to talk about the reasons why, but if maybe there's something I can do, something I can avoid myself. I just want to help.
You really do enough, too much for some.
I'm not really trying to do anything. So.
Okay. He looks like he's sort of stealing his expression a bit, and he just nods and pulls out a little flask from his pocket and takes a sort of deep drink.
What are you drinking?
Just some wine. Would you like some?
Sure.
It's like cherry wine.
Oh, makes me want the mead.
Me too. Loran licks his lips and he just says, Sarazar and I left the Feywild at the same time.
He's older than you.
Quite a bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. We
Also remembers the dream. He's like,
Loran frowns a bit but doesn't say anything. He just says, we moved to Calcan together. And it wasn't the first time that Sarazar lived there, but that's his story. Nothing to do with me. Really nothing. Look, the only thing you need to know is that he was just too busy to give a shit. And yeah, I needed someone. I wasn't exactly well when I left the Feywild.
You were sick?
I was hurt kind of badly, so Ulster. So I needed him, and he just wasn't really there. Loran looks a little bit closed off at this point.
Ulster he doesn't intrude on Loran's space, but he shuffles a little bit closer and hovers his hand above Loran's knee. Can I? He puts his hand down.
You've never hurt me, so.
No, but that doesn't mean that you can't be reminded of things.
He looks at you strangely, but
I won't make you talk about anything. I promise. I just He moves his hand from his knee and just holds out his hand. Can I hold it? And takes Loran's hand if he lets him.
he will. No. Things you need to know. I mean, I've got a bit of a past. Fell in and out of a bad crowd, grew a booming business, political unrest, blah, blah, blah. That's my story without some of the superfluous details. And you, I believe, have told me a lot of yours. So I ask you the same question. Is there anything else I need to know before he points to the ring?
No. I mean, you know everything about Cruel. You know my parents are my parents. You know that I don't really plan on being king. You're one of the only people who know that. I do honestly just feel happy being here with all of you. I'm very happy when you're here. Feel very safe.
Loran squeezes your hand and just says, "Yeah, it's actually quite nice."
I wouldn't let anyone hurt you. I promise if they did, I would tear their face off.
He laughs. I think he doesn't really have any option other two.
I would.
I would eviscerate them for you.
For you.
He reaches up and he pats your cheek. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just looked a little far away and such.
I said what I meant.
You'd rip someone's face off. It's quite a grand gesture. Grand gesture.
I mean, I can protect you.
Also, I'm not asking you to protect me. I don't want you to.
I didn't mean to upset you. I just mean I can protect you from the bad things. I want you to know. I don't quite remember.
That's been happening a bit lately. He shakes his head. I am the bad thing. No, I'm joking. Look, I'm okay. I've been spending a lot of time fighting in my own way. So, you know what? Maybe I could have some reinforcements.
Sorry, I wasn't. What do you mean?
I'm just saying thank you, also. So, like I said, if there's ever anything that you need to get off your chest, I sometimes find it helps to trade a story for a story. My sordid past for another.
You want a story from me?
I mean, look, just try. I mean, you're wearing my ring. Sure, there's something.
He kind of sits back a little bit in the moss. I suppose I could find something.
Mm.
Yeah, I think so. And he starts kind of like pulling his hand through his hair. You know a lot about me. I'm not very good at hiding things. I'm not trying to hide anything either. Most of my stories are quite tired.
Not if you want to talk about them more.
He kind of pauses with his hand in his hair and then extracts it.
I think, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
I think Loran would probably just lean forward and start practicing a very very small braid on your hair, just to help keep you grounded.
Okay.
Talk to me.
I sometimes feel it's not really a story, but I guess this is something I haven't ever talked to anyone about, but I sometimes feel as if I've known people for a very long time. You're one of those people. I guess that's my secret. I can look at a person and I can feel decades worth of feelings for them. I've always been an observant person, but I wonder if that's maybe a little bit strange. Because I look at Astra And I feel closer to her than my own mother. Sparks, too. I know she would protect me with her blood despite barely knowing me. And I can look at you and I know that you're the person I want to marry. I feel like I can see your hand reaching out to me, and I have to take it and pull you through no matter what. I know you suffer. I don't think I know why, but I know you, and I know I have to hold on to you.
Fuck, that's a bit of a confession.
You're right. Sorry, suppose it is.
Don't apologise, Ulster. Just give me a second to process that. I mean, I don't exactly believe in fated meetings. I mean, like, I'll admit, there have been times where I felt, how can I put this into words?
Like you don't know yourself.
Yeah. And more, but I also don't know why you decided I was frankly worth your time, so many mysteries still exist in this world.
No, that was easy. It was an easy decision. It felt right. Maybe that's part of it.
I think Loran probably... Sorry to interrupt you. Probably stands up, I think, at that point.
Right.
And takes a bit of a step away and just sort of holds his face. I think Ulster, he paces.
Please say something.
Ulster, are you in love with me?
Hannah's face.
I'm kind of thinking that might not. Hang on.
Ulster kind of sits there and he tilts his head to the side. I've loved you for a very long time.
You love me.
Yes.
He kind of just curls down into a little ball in front of you.
Ulster puts his hands on either side of Lauren's face, and his whole kind of demeanor seems much more mature and calm, I think, at this point.
Loran kind of puts his hands over yours and just closes his eyes, almost like he's got a terrible headache, and he just says, What is this? You can't love me.
Why can't I?
Because I'm a whore. I'm the worst kind of whore you've ever met.
You've been faithful to me since we met.
I've tried to get over you. I've tried to go off with someone else.
You already used that one on me. Can I just throw in a reference? Just Monica.
I was actually playing that earlier. Lorraine closes his eyes and takes a deep breath and just says, oh, it's too late. Too late. I wanted to say it first. This time. And he holds you very close and he just says, I love you. And I think we can leave the session there for now.
The first time.
I wanted to say it first this time, is what he said.
Hmm.
Sorry, guys. I was given things to do by Emma, so if you saw me looking at things.
Yes. I had some things he needed to do. By the way, I'm writing a novella to help you guys understand this campaign. If you do. It's at about 1,000 words at the moment.
Is it?
I think
Nice.
it's almost there.
Oh my god.
How many words, sorry?
That's more than a novella.
Wait, isn't it 50? No, 15,000 words.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
More like 15,000 words, but we're getting there.
Nice.
Oh God, like a field guide.
Field guide to this
So
scenario.
feelings.
Indeed. Feelings and
Shall
love.
we
Field
stop
guide to
recording?
Bran.
Yeah, because I've got to go. I've got a class in half an hour. I should have left half an hour ago.
Mm.
It's okay.